What's up, guys? Rogue Scrubs coming at you here with a Harpie Danger deck profile. I promised this quite a while ago, and I didn't get to do it. I'm going to call it Danger Grounds because it sounds pretty cool, playing words. But, yeah, I know also people don't really like Dangers right now because it's facilitating a lot of FTKs. But, anyway, I thought this was more of a control deck, and it's kind of fun to see how it works. So, yeah, we'll get right into it. 3 Harpie Chandlers, probably the best Harpie you can play in the deck. Discard a Harpie, and then a card, and special summon one from deck is really, really good. Becomes level 7 with Dragon on board. 3 Harpie Harpist. This card's also really good with the dangers because it allows you to search if it goes to grave, and it also allows you to have neat interactions with Thunderbird. So if you summon it off Jackalope, which summons it in defense mode, you can normal summon this, bounce back a Wing Beast, bounce back a card your opponent controls, and then summon this back again because it's at 3k, which is really cool. So you definitely want to play 3 of that. Next up, 3 Harpie Queen. Queen's still probably one of the best Harpies cards since the beginning of the game. Allows you to grab Harpie's Hunting Ground and just start getting free value off of your Harpie summons and just pop cards. And then to round it up, as far as level 4 Harpie monsters, is Harpie Dancer. This card just gives you an additional normal summon and pops 2 under Harpie's Hunting Ground. You don't need to play more. It's unnecessary. You don't want to use your normal summon really other than for Harpie Chandler. So, yeah. You'll notice I also don't play any card that's actually listed as Harpie Lady in the deck because those cards are really bad. Don't do anything. Giving 300 attack to your wind monsters is just terrible. The Elegant Egotist isn't worth it. Hysteric Sign is just such a better card. Every time you have Hysteric Sign, you want to go +2 instead of just summon a Harpie to the board. So yeah, just those 10. And then lastly, Harpie's Pet Dragon, because this allows you to do your rank 7 plays, which is really good. Yeah. Then for the last non-danger monster, I play 1 Blackwing Zephyros. This card's insane. It's just a Wing Beast and allows once per duel bounce card. Special summon it for free. Since your dangers put all those cards in graveyard, it's really good. Next up, I play 3 Bigfoot for the dangers, because this one's probably one of the best ones. Just popping a card if it gets discarded, and it just has 3,000 attack, so it's really big. I also play 3 Nessie because it's the Searcher. 3 Jackalope because this card allows you to special summon Nessie or Bigfoot from the deck, and it also allows you to special summon Thunderbird, which is one of the best additions to this deck. It makes it work really well, as I was saying earlier with Harpist. And it pops a set card, which is also good. Then I also play 2 Chupacabra because this allows you to recuperate your advantage and just grab back stuff and have a grind game. And then lastly, 1 Mothman. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for the danger lineup. Pretty standard in this deck, I think. I play a couple more level 8s than most people would, such as 3 Bigfoot, because like I said, this is control variant, not the FTK variant when you just want to go first and kill your opponent turn 1. The reason for the 1 Mothman is simply because if you have Nessie, there is still a randomness aspect to it. That, like, if you have Nessie and Hysteric Sign, you always want to make sure your Hysteric Sign gets discarded. So, if Nessie gets ditched, you can search Mothman, and then if Mothman, you lose the die roll again, gets ditched, you can use Mothman's effect to draw and discard a card, so that gets your Hysteric Sign into the graveyard, and then you search 3, which is absolutely insane. So, yeah. Then 3, Hysteric Sign. This is, without question, the reason the whole deck works. Every time this card's discarded from hand to grave, or some field to the grave, you get to search 3 Harpie cards from your deck to your hand during your end phase, which is absolutely insane. It's a +2, and this is what your dangers want to draw you into. It also gives you access to other cards, such as Harpie's Featherstorm, which makes you control the game out. 2 Harpie's Hunting Ground. Card's absolutely insane. Every time you summon a Harpie, you just pop a card. Still need to play 2. 3 is overkill because you don't ever want to draw this card in multiples, and also you want it out of your hand for dangers to go off. Monster Reborn, this card's back. This card's great. Card Destruction, I hate this card, but I know if I don't put it in this deck profile, people are going to yell out in the comments where's Card Destruction. I think this card pluses your opponent just as much as it pluses you, even though you can get a search off your dangers and start popping stuff. It makes bad hands good, but like it also just doesn't, I don't think, aids great hands. I think great hands work themselves out, and I don't want to rip cards from my opponent's hand and give them a better hand or put stuff in the graveyard because everything in this game now has grave effects. So doing that is kind of giving your opponent work. So I would play a different card than this, but it's in here. 3 Harpie's Featherstorm. This card's absolutely insane. This card's just skill drain on crack. If you have a Harpie monster, you can activate it from hand. You don't have to set it. And yeah, I mean, this is the whole reason the dangers also really help, because you can also activate it if you control face-up Wing Beast, which Thunderbird allows you to have, through Jackalope and other things. So even if you don't draw a Harpie, this card can still potentially be live. And yeah, I mean, it's just absolutely insane. It's searchable off your Hysteric Sign, so it's a trap card that you can search during your end phase and then activate on your opponent's turn, even though it's in your hand, which is really good. Next up, 2 Hysteric Party. This also helps with the danger aspect because you discard a card to bring back all the Harpie monsters in your grave. It allows you to also interrupt your opponent with Thunderbird and, of course, Bigfoot. So, yeah. And it also just allows for oppressive plays by summoning 3 monsters for 1 card. Lastly, I play 2 Danger Zone. This is the card I would play 3 of instead of Card Destruction because this card's really, really good. It's Graceful Charity. You draw 3 and then ditch 2, including 1 danger. It allows you to draw into your Hysteric sign on your opponent's turn, and it also allows you to interrupt on your opponent's turn along with the dangers. And the best part is that it can even draw you into your Harpie's Featherstorm, which you can activate from hand if you control a Harpie. So like if you open a bad hand where you only have 1 Harpie, it's really, really good because you can just draw into this and hopefully still have a play and your opponent won't be able to play the game. Yeah, that rounds up the deck. That's 40 cards. We'll go into the side, or extra deck. For the extra deck, for the Link Force, I'll start off with Boral Sword and Saryuja. These are the cards you can make off of your Tomahawk plays. And this card just fixes your hand, which is absolutely insane. Next up, I play 1 Nightmare Unicorn. This card is really good for dealing with problematic things, shuffling things back. Then I also play the rest of the Nightmare Engine. Technically, no, 1 Nightmare Cerberus and 1 Nightmare Phoenix. I'm proxying this because my friend Michael is borrowing, I think, all 3 of mine somehow. I don't know. I don't know whether the 15 of them I own. Charlie might have them as well. But I'll play 1 more Nightmare Phoenix. Firefighting Durumidal. This card's really good because it allows you to like link with the Danger and the Harpie and still have a way to pop Hysteric Sign. So like if you don't have a rank 4 into Tornado Dragon access, you can still like attack, destroy a monster by battle, and then pop both Hysteric Sign and something your opponent controls. Great Fly. This is just 2 wind monsters. It's just a generic link. Helps out, grabs Harpie's cards back. And Link Spider because you need a card for the vanilla for the Link plays. Next up for the Exceeds, I play 1 Hope Harbinger. This card's really, really good because it's just 2 level 8s. Really, really easy to make in this deck considering you play the 3 Bigfoot and the 2 Thunderbirds. Yeah, not much else to say there. It's just really good against Sky Striker. It allows you to get a negate on first turn. If you do end up doing like the play, you can like sometimes end on Saryuja, Hope Harbinger if you're doing like your Tomahawk play. As I was saying, Tomahawk, this card's insane. It's just Scapegoat on your turn. You detach 2, get 5 tokens. Really, really good. Big Eye also deals with problematic monsters, same kind as kind of like Unicorn. This deck doesn't really have too much of a problem, but it's cool to like steal Beatrice, then put it back with like Lightning Story. Excited Knight, this card's back. Hooray. Blows up the board. Tornado Dragon, this card's also really good because it allows you to pop your own Hysteric Signs, which is awesome. Castel, so this is actually just in case you don't draw a Harpie, but you still draw your Harpie's Featherstorm. You need to control a Wing Beast, and so you want to be able to make a rank 4. So like that way you can like do it with Chupacabra and a Jackalope. Jackalope goes and grabs Mothman or another copy of Chupacabra. The idea is that any 2 level 4s can still make this live. So like if you happen to only draw into danger and your hand's not that great, you still have a way to keep this card up because if you play this on your opponent's turn, they're going to stop. They're just going to end in pass and wait for the next turn. The other aspect of this card, if you didn't realize also, is like if your opponent hand traps you, you can chain this on your turn. So if you activate Chandler and they try to Effect Veiler or Ash, you can chain Harpie's Featherstorm and it'll negate it, and the Effect Veiler won't go off. Your plays will still. 1 Lightning Chidori. This card, this has been a staple in Harpies just because 2 wind monsters and it's free value. Onto the side deck, I play 2 Twin Twisters. This card's absolutely insane. Discard a card, pop up to 2 spell and traps. Synergizes with your dangerous Harpies, everything under the sun in this deck, so it's a really good side deck card when dealing in back row. The 3rd Danger Zone, as I said, I would play this over the, whatchamacallit? Gosh, Card Destruction, because I don't like that card. But, yeah, up to you. Next up, I play Evenly Matched. So it's kind of interesting because this deck has a weird matchup going first and second. Both ways is, like, kind of good for you. First is obviously still kind of preferable because you get to set up this card, which this card is insane. But going second isn't really necessarily a huge problem either because the Harpies allow you to get advantage by blowing up back row. You don't really have a problem against like Thunder Dragons and stuff because you don't search the end phase and you'd be able to get over Colossus and stuff early on. But you still have this because you can't play hand traps in this deck because dangers are randomly discarding cards out of your hands. So you don't want to like lose your cards that you didn't set. And you can't keep in hand. So Evenly Matched is really good for that. Then I also play Artifacts to help if I'm going first against Goki. Goki is going to be the 100% the worst matchup you could possibly have. Just because of the fact that if they go first, you just don't really get to play because they're not going to make Gumblar. If they do, then they lose. But most of them I feel like avoid that. So the 3 Sanctums and the Scythes and the Mortal is really good for that. It also combats with the Featherstorm. If you go like Sanctum Scythe and then activate a Featherstorm, your opponent actually just can't play the game. Like no extra deck, no monster effects, the game's over. Then I side deck the second Mothman because you never know when you might need it. Another level 4 is just good. And the third Thunderbird because, yet again, I said this one has the most synergy. You can play a third Thunderbird and play 2 Bigfoot instead, but most of the time, this format, not a lot of people are setting. If you see a lot of Altergeist, you can play the third one of this. But yeah, so that's the deck profile. I apologize for not uploading as frequently as it's been 2 weeks. College homework gets in the way of that. But we do have a lot of deck profiles coming up. I know another Danger deck profile for sure, Orcus Danger, which yet again, I know you guys don't like FTKs and stuff, and Danger Engine's probably getting really sickening because everyone's playing it. Popular demand, I guess. But I'm also going to have some other things. I'm going to have a revamped Blackwings. I'm going to have Zombies. I'm going to have Noble Knights, as I promised. That'll probably actually be the next one. And I'm also going to have Galaxy. So, yeah, those 5 deck profiles are coming up soon. Thanks a lot again. We hit like 425 subscribers recently this weekend past with the, Spiral deck profile. So that was really, really cool. Appreciate it. Can't wait to hit 500. Roast out.